Welcome to KGXT, GenXTalks podcast live from Central California.
Making plans with the boys. I'm gonna hit the town. Yeah, I'm gonna make some noise. I'll push past the pain and my wounded pride. I'm gonna live it up. Yeah, stay out all night. But sure I've had.
Hello.
Dum, dum, dum. Okay, the butt is going on.
Are we
now.
not on the radio?
We're on the radio.
Are we
Hold
on the radio?
Could you just give me a second?
Mics are hot.
Mics are hot. Don't say.
Mics are hot.
Don't say it like that. Just talk regular. I'm trying to catch up here, and then you get me all Twitter pitted where I just stop everything I'm doing and I stare at you. Okay.
Mics are hot.
Okay, I got it. See, now you get there. You did it again.
The radio station is hot.
KHOT, hot. Or,
That's cool.
Or cot. Or hot.
Sounds like you're hawking a loogie.
I know. Welcome to, it's a Jewish station. Welcome to KHOT, hot. It's Hot FM. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Hot outside, too.
You're such a putz.
Hey.
Okay, PodTrack moving up and down, it looks like. Is Streamlabs moving side to side? Streamlabs is not moving. Oh, they are. It's moving side to side. And the butt broadcast using this tool. The butt looks like it's moving. I'm not sure if we're listening, sounding correctly. You're going to have to check with...
Discord is reporting in, and 3 people are saying we are good to go.
5x5. That's good. If Invisihuchi was there, Danny would have said, I copy you 5x5. We're clear.
Somebody's already said that.
Oh, all right.
Somebody other than Danny.
No, they stole his line?
Yeah.
All right. So welcome to the GenXTalks podcast. It is a little bit after 10 o'clock. Thursday morning, May 29th, Los Angeles time. And we are broadcasting one of the last times from the KGXT studios, 200 feet below occupied California.
And here we are.
Last
week we were in Nevada.
Yep.
Today we're in California.
Yeah, we're a traveling band. We're a jet setting. Who knows where we'll be next week?
I could not be a traveling band. I'm sorry, I cannot do it. I cannot live out of a suitcase. I just can't. It was fun at the beginning, but it's not fun anymore.
What did Wyatt Earp tell Josephine? Let's just live on room service. Let's just travel and live on room service.
It sounds good in theory.
Yeah.
But after a while, I just want to be grounded. I'm losing my ground here.
There was a guy when I had the shop in Oregon, as you know, we had the shop. There was a guy who worked for me for a while, and he was a mechanic, and he had to quit. And he goes, I got a job working welding because he was a pretty decent welder, just basic. But you know what? They hired crews to go all over the country and go into Home Depots and weld the brackets, the storage bin, the racks, those big orange and green bar racks. And he goes, it's an outside company, and Home Depot contracts them. And he was making probably over double what I could pay him. And he was gone about 6 months, and then he came back and asked for his job back. And I said, why would you want to do that? And he goes, I can't live in a hotel anymore. He goes, it was really fun and glamorous for about a month. He goes, then I got tired of it. Then it became hard, and then it became impossible. He goes, now I know why they have such high turnover. He made a lot of money, but he goes, I just can't go. He goes, we're in Arizona, then we're in Texas, then we're in Florida, then we're in Montana, and they fly you there.
Yeah.
And they pay a lot of money, and they pay for your room, and they pay for your food. He goes, but you live out of a suitcase.
I get like rock stars when they go on the road for a tour. That has to be demanding.
Yeah,
say you're on the road for a year.
Yeah.
Like you've already committed to all these concerts or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's probably no joke that after they have a concert, it probably goes till, you don't wind down till early in the morning. You probably get on either a bus or a plane.
Yeah.
And then you wake up in another city. I don't know.
Well, look at all those shows that came out back when we were growing up. We're older, not children, but those like VH1 behind the music things where they go and they interview rock stars. Every one of them that I saw said, "You're alone. You're around 30,000 people. Then you sign autographs and pictures, and then you're in the hotel room." Boom, you're by yourself. He goes, and it's not that you don't want to be around your bandmates, but you've been around them on the bus, And so then it gets lonely. And you have no one to talk to.
But it's not just lonely. The flip side of that, some people need that downtime. Like I do. I need some quiet time to re-energize myself.
Sure, but there's no family and there's no other friends than the people you work with. And they always talk about how hard it is being on the road, or a band will tell you a story. Now, we just came off the road, letting you know that was a tough cycle.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
I couldn't do it, man. Ooh.
So, yes, we've been doing a little bit of that. We have not been touring Europe and Asia. No. But we've been doing our fair share of being on the road. So we're coming down to one of the last few shows we're going to be doing here. And this is Thursday, which everyone who follows GenXTalks knows Thursdays are absolutely, without a doubt, our busiest day.
Yes.
There is so much to accomplish on a Thursday that you
More you than me.
Sure, but there's still a ton. And you do 2 shows that day for sure, and that's not normal for you.
No, it's not.
So usually we have some notes. I'll take some notes on some things to remind myself to talk about, like, don't forget.
Throughout the week we do.
Yeah, don't forget this happened, or just make a note that happened. And I told you this morning, no notes. I told you this morning, I'm going to lead you down a path today. And this is going to be a very unusual show.
Okay, but wait a minute.
What?
Am I going to still have my clothes on after this?
Yes.
And I'm not going to be drunk or wasted or none of that at the end of this?
No, it's not. It's not one of those shows, honey.
Okay. Ooh, okay. Then you may proceed. Okay. I just want to make sure.
No,
I want to know what the rules are.
I know, because you're not as young as you used to be. You got to prepare for those nights now.
I need to limber up.
Yeah. No, we're good there. It's this is going to be, this will be one of our lowest rated shows, probably our lowest viewed.
That's not true.
Well, when it's over, because this isn't something you might go back and listen to again like some people do. The podcast is still the fastest growing part of GenXTalks, and its viewership goes up. Do you know that I'm not going to tell you the number, on Spotify, which is one of the channels that the podcast goes out on Spotify, there was, they have followers there. I didn't know you could have followers on Spotify.
I didn't know that.
And I got an email notification in the middle of the night that says, hey, you just crossed a milestone of number of followers. And I was like, what?
It's crazy to think that people want to know about us. It's almost like a reality TV show or radio show or
I think
whatever.
They're more interested in you, and I just get to tag along.
Me?
So, yeah.
I am not that interesting.
You are one of the most mysterious women I have ever met.
Thank you.
Just when I think I've got you all figured out, I've known you since I was 5 years old. Mm-hmm. So I know you grade school, junior high, high school. I get it.
So you're the only guy that's been able to tame me.
Yeah, and I haven't been, because there's sometimes you say something or you do something or you go off the reservation. I'm like, what does she do? And you absolutely stun me. It's not always in a bad way either. Sometimes I'm like, holy shit, I can't believe my chick just did that. Far out. So you're still mysterious. I want you to know
I'm glad. I hope I go to the grave like that.
With me pounding on the coffin going, I still have questions. Hello.
We're going to leave that one alone.
Well, anyway, so what I meant by bring you along today is
scared.
I was.
Will you hold my hand?
If you need me to. What I was thinking about was, and I don't want to paint you out to be bland, but I want to use the word average.
He just said I was mysterious. Now I'm bland.
That's why I said I don't want to use the word. I don't want to paint you out as bland, or average. But I think there's some topics that I want to put out there for the listeners, because there are a ton of the podcast. We will get on all the platforms. We'll get 9,000 people or so on this episode over all the platforms it shows on.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Very appreciative of you guys. And only Spotify gives us a couple bucks. Just so you guys know, we get about $150 a month from Spotify. We get no money from anybody else on any other platform, because when we signed up, we had nobody listening. And they're like, well, would you like to charge for this? No, just put it out there to see if anybody's interested. So when I say we have 9,000 people, nobody better get dollar signs in your head, because those are all RSS feeds that just go everywhere. And we're okay with that.
That's fine.
But I do get a lot of notes, a lot of messages, a lot of contact from people who listen.
I don't get any contact from people who
no,
listen.
No, because it goes to one specific place. All the feeds and all the contact go.
So you get to see it all.
I field those, yeah. I mean, anytime someone asks for a naked picture of you and they do send in the $12 coupon, I'm the one who has to reply, not you. Don't worry, I took care of all of that for
Where's
you.
this $12 coupon? Is that the bottom of the cereal box?
That's right. You find it at the bottom of Lucky Charms.
Okay.
So what I wanted to talk about today.
And Lucky Charms is not a sponsor.
No, Lucky Charms is not a Lucky Charms, not safe for work sponsor. Lucky Charms. You know, all these guys are going to go start pouring out boxes.
That's why I said that out loud. I was like, Lucky Charms is not a sponsor.
You got middle-aged men.
Nobody wants to see a
middle-aged men running down the grocery store aisle, dumping out boxes of Lucky Charms.
Nobody wants to see a middle-aged woman naked. Sorry.
Yeah, you just opened up yourself for that. Yes, I do, because GenXMom at GenXTalks.com. I'm just saying. So what I wanted to do is there's a lot of people that do listen. There's a lot of questions, a lot of directional questions, a lot of things they're asking us. Have we done as GenXTalks?
Oh, okay.
Not as much married couple, but they're like, where are we going with this? And I want to say the last month, I have kind of been promoting, some hinting and some outright being out there saying it, where we're going with all this, what we're doing. And I think I wanted to cover a little bit of that today.
All right.
So let's start with, I want to end up with GenXTalks. So I want to start with some other stuff first.
Okay, that's fine.
Now, I'm not asking you, boy, I'm going to feel like I'm getting into a discussion with our second oldest son, who anytime you talk politics, that kid says, shh, link me to an article. Prove it to me.
I'm not going to do that.
No, this is what he does.
Okay.
So I don't want to, I don't need receipts. I'm asking for your feeling. You've been on this planet. You've had
watch it. Watch it.
You've had several trips around the sun. And
a few too many.
So I'd like you to give me your feeling on some topics here.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you some old ones and some new ones. And you can answer just with, I feel this way. And just give me your gut feeling.
This is just my personal opinion.
Just your opinion. Because
I don't want hate mail.
No. It's because you represent, there's so many people in America who, they do read, they do dabble, they go on X, they watch the news, not intently. They don't take notes. They don't scrutinize. They don't look for backup information. They kind of just have their routine during the day. They pick up their vibe and they move on. Great. That is how 90% of America runs. Is they don't go super deep on any one topic.
No, I'm not watching the nightly news every night like our parents did.
No, and there's people that do, and they go deep like our son, who just is impossible to argue with because he will keep you on one topic for 6 months, showing you charts and graphs and focus groups. All right.
Okay.
I'm just going to ask you now, we are in May. President Trump was elected in November, so he's been in office since January. We're at the end of 5 months.
Okay.
There have obviously been some ups and downs. There's been some turmoil. He has moved his agenda forward. He's pulled it back. The stock market has been up, then it's been down. There's been a lot of turmoil, as one would expect. But I just want to ask you, I'm going to ask you first, do you think the country, the United States, is headed in the right direction overall?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And if you just from your cursory observation, why? Why do you think so? Because there's pundits who would turn around and tell you, well, here's why everything's messed up and nothing's going well. And there's people that would tell you, here's why everything's going well. Okay. Setting those people aside, why do you think we're in the right? What makes you feel we're going in the right direction?
Without even mentioning Trump's name, I love the demeanor of people lately. Like going out in the world, the demeanor of people is not doom and gloom. There's more hope. There's more excitement, more patriotism. Even like just say we went through Memorial Day, driving around the American flags that are out. I mean, I think...
You think it's more than it was the last 4 years?
Yes. It felt like a lot of people were hiding the last 4 years, their patriotism.
Yes, I would agree.
When deep down inside, we've always been patriots, but it was always like we had to push it down the last 4 years.
Yeah, you know what? I would agree with that. It's almost like there was a certain part of our population we were supposed to be ashamed of America.
Well,
and we don't feel that way anymore. No, they definitely.
And there was a lot of people that still pushed it out there, but they got backlashed for it. But there's still a lot of people that, you know what, we'll just lay low, be quiet, not cause any problems, you know. But I think it's all ramped up again, and I see so much of it.
And you feel it.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel it when I walk in the store. I feel it when I go to the grocery store. People are saying hi and hello, and they're not afraid to say something to you anymore. We always were walking around wondering, oh, what do we say?
What are you saying? Yeah, careful, be careful.
Yeah, you didn't know what was going to come out of that person's mouth.
One thing I've noticed, and I think you and I have talked about this driving, and I'm sure Michael Dawson and Loud One and some other guys who drive big rigs would say this maybe more than we would. You know, they know more. But driving the roads we've traveled lately. This also includes our trips to Arizona and our trips into Oregon and stuff. We've seen a lot more building.
Oh, a ton.
I mean, it's like someone, they went and got their permits. Once Trump got elected, they're ramping stuff up. They're clearing land.
Yes.
Now, you don't always like to see that. You don't like to see little towns get destroyed and turned into big towns. But it sure is nice to see people going, I'm spending the money, I'm going to build stuff, and I'm going to create some jobs.
Well, we were laughing because where we live now, where we're leaving from in California, there's been spots around us that have been saying, oh, we're going to build. Now that we're leaving.
Now they're doing it.
Building.
Oh, I know. Briggs was waiting. Briggs was I think, 11 or 12 years old, and they planned about 2 miles from us a brand new Target with a movie theater and outdoor shopping
like you
malls.
could ride your bike there.
And he goes, I can't wait. He goes, you think they'll be done by the time I'm in high school?
No.
I said, yeah, they should be. It should be right on track and everything should be done. You and all your friends.
It would be the hangout point.
We'd be the hangout spot. They're just now putting it up. They started in February. Like, Christ, we're leaving. I forgot about that. That is
and
funny,
then I just ran over near us, kind of in the same area right there. There's a brand new fast food restaurant that just went up, and I went, where did this come from?
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen it. So so we have seen a lot of that. That's all right. That's good.
So I'm going to ask you, and you're allowed to get these answers wrong. You're allowed to. If you get the answer wrong and it makes you look silly or whatever, that's okay, because you don't know. You don't always know. I don't always know. I have to look stuff up.
All right.
Can you describe from your average American point of view?
Oh my gosh.
How does a tariff work? And we've talked about tariffs.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on now. Tariffs have been in the news heavily. So it's so confusing. There's so many levels and there's so many things about it. Just as an average American taking it all in, what is your perception on how a tariff works?
Okay. Oh my gosh, you really put me on the spot.
It's okay. Just give us because
remember, I'm going to try and do it simply.
Hold on. Remember, maybe most of the nation feels about the same qualified to answer as you do. Maybe they're just going.
Okay, let's just say, so if China wants to bring in their product to sell here, we're taxing them pretty much, right? To bring it in here. Is that what a tariff is?
Correct.
Pretty much?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, I got it right.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. I just simple it down that for any country to sell something in our country, they're going to have to pay a price for it.
That's right. Okay.
But it's vice versa too, right?
Sure, they do it to us. So, and that was my next question. Trump always talks about a tariff imbalance. What does that even mean?
Ones might be higher than the other, whether it be U.S. to another country or another country to the U.S.
Right. In other words, let's say
it's not fair.
If China brings in $100 item and we say, "Hey, we're going to put a 5% tariff on that. You're going to pay $5," and China's like, "Okay, we'll pay the $5." We bring a $100 item to China, and they say, "Well, you're going to pay 65% tax. You're going to have a 65% tariff. We got to pay 165 to get it in." And that's the way it's always been. With almost every country, they have way higher percentage rates than we do. Mm-hmm. That's what Trump was going after, is to make it
fair. Balanced. Yeah,
it's like, how about his idea was a flat tariff? Why don't we charge each other the same, and just go by volume.
But I think I think the country, this is my perception. Yeah. I think the countries do it depending how, I don't want to say poor, because I think a poor country could be a very small country that doesn't import a whole lot or export a whole lot. So I would say like a rather small country might have a larger tariff to bring in more money
because
to their country.
They don't sell it. They don't export as much.
That's what I think.
Well, the other one too is that Trump, I think he should have brought it up a little more, was the European Union is like, why do they have such high tariffs on us? And we actually, in my version of how I've read the history, it appears we did that. We're like, after World War II, we're like, look, you guys are fucked. Your whole Europe is destroyed. I'll tell you what, as we start importing stuff, just put a big tariff on it as it comes in, and we'll pay it, and that way you can rebuild your country.
Okay.
But we're kind of past that now.
You think?
So that was
there should have been a time limit on that.
And I don't know that's the entire story, but I read several places that was part of
the short and sweet version.
So,
I can understand that. We've always been nice. The United States has always been
every place
nice.
we fuck up, we go fix it. We destroyed Japan. We spent 6 years rebuilding it. We fucked up Europe. Don't worry, we're coming in with our bulldozers and we'll fix up your country for you. Every place. I think
that's
the only
like
place,
us walking over there and smacking the shit out of somebody and then taking their hand, going, "It's okay, buddy."
Yeah, here, let me give you a Band-Aid for that. I don't think we did in Vietnam though. I think that was the only place where that was a little bit embarrassing, so we didn't do it. Anyway, so yes, the
one country we probably should have. No.
Yeah. So, okay. So you think the country's moving in the right direction, and you do understand the basics of tariffs, that we're just charging people to sell their stuff here. Doge. Now, Elon has backed away from Doge. He says, my time is done. Doge is still running with all the guys in it. Do you
Who's going to oversee it?
I don't know. I know Elon has said he will
keep his fingers in it.
He'll open the door and check in from time to time, but he's done.
Okay.
He says he's done giving money to politics. He says, I think I've done enough. He says, my time with Doge is done. I went for as long as I said. I'll kind of keep tabs, but he's done.
Well, he is running like what, 5 countries?
How do you feel Doge is doing? Do you think they're doing a good thing, or do you think that they're getting into areas they shouldn't be?
Oh, no. I think they're doing a great job. Why? There's been all this talk about transparency for how many years now? Yeah. I mean, we're going way back. Every presidency has said that it's transparent. I think this is the most transparent that we've ever seen. And I think we as the people have a right to know what's going on, because we're the ones that put those people there. They are working for the people. We are being taxed and our money is going to the government. I feel we should know where all our money is going.
Well, there's 2 things that come to mind there. One is that they have cut off a lot of money that we just don't know where it's going.
Amen.
And now let's see who cries. That's what I would remember when there was drones in New Jersey, and my advice was shoot down the drones and see who comes and knocks on your door and says, hey, you shot down my drones. Well, now we're going to know who did it.
Yeah.
Same thing. Have Doge cut off all the money that we don't know where it's going, and let's see who complains.
Absolutely.
Let's see who starts bitching and whining about it. Then we're going to know where it went. Here's the other one. I got into an argument with an extreme liberal the other day, and they said Doge is getting into areas they have no business getting into. And I said, tell me what area we're not supposed to know what's going on. Let me know what that is, and then I might agree with you. They shut up really quick on that.
But I think the U.S. government, the people that work there, especially the people that were voted in, have forgotten that they were put in that position for us.
To serve
us. It's not... And you know what? I'm totally for what you said about term limits. You don't get to be in government for life.
No.
Just like the president. Just like the president can't be there for life. Then that's a dictatorship. That becomes a monarchy.
Well,
so it needs to rotate.
When we were growing up, a government job is like what you settled for. It's like, well, I can't get a job in construction. I didn't graduate college. I'll just get a government job. It was like where you didn't really want to be. It was a little bit embarrassing, low paying, but you're like, all right, I'll just get myself a government job. That's the way it was from the 40s, the 50s,
Not
the
now.
60s. No. Now you get a government job. You're set for life. They can't fire you. You get a bunch of money.
Yeah.
You get all the perks and benefits. You can leave. You work. I mean, now it's something you aspire to. You shouldn't. I don't think that's the case, how that should be. So if...
I think it should be a temporary position.
I do too. Now, before we move on.
Wait, one thing, it's kind of like being on a jury. It's a temporary position.
Right.
You get to be in it, but I don't know. The time is served.
Here's my last question on Doge and the government job, and this is kind of a tough one to answer for anybody.
Okay.
So you've built up one of those cushy government jobs. Mm-hmm. You're not really necessary. You're kind of getting a paycheck. You're working, but your office has 200 people and it could do it with 30. And you're one of the 70 that it doesn't need, 170 that it doesn't need. Doge comes along and says, you clearly are not needed. You clearly know you're not needed. You know that for 18 years you've been doing this job and it really isn't needed and we're cutting this job. Now, what's all over the newspaper is you just put a family out on the street. Now, that person can't retrain maybe after being there 18, 27 years. They can't retrain. They're kind of like, well, what else am I supposed to do? And they're like, well, we don't care. This is a job. It's a bullshit job and a bullshit salary. You should be thanking everyone you got to keep it for 18 to 27 years. How do you feel about letting those people go because they knew they were in kind of a bullshit job, getting a bullshit salary, and they didn't quit. They didn't walk away from it, and you can't blame them. But when the day comes and Trump or Doge or whoever cuts that job, you are putting a family in jeopardy where they may lose their house, they may lose their car. They may not be able to retrain because of their age or what condition they're in. What do you do? My
first thought is, I'm sorry that's going to happen to them, but it happens everywhere, not just in government. If a company bankrupts or goes under, those people have, it's not,
that's a good point.
They're not being persecuted for being a government job. It happens everywhere. Welcome to the world.
That's
Life
true.
isn't fair.
Yeah, that's true.
A company can fold, bankruptcy can happen. All those people are out of a job. I mean, it happens. I can give you an example.
I didn't think of it that way, but you're right.
I can give you an example of my dad at Lockheed. For example, my dad put in 30 years.
Yeah.
They told him in Burbank, and they told my dad, he had been there for 30 years, told my dad, well, here's your deal. You could either hightail it out to the desert, to Edwards, and continue to work on the project, or we're going to give you, you get a retirement package.
Yeah, here's your severance package and your retirement.
Those were his two choices. And he really wanted to continue working, but he was like, I really don't want to drive out there. So he chose the retirement package. It happens everywhere. Companies move.
That's true. So I think that part of your dad's decision was he knew that he had a teenage daughter at home who was sneaking boys in the house.
No.
And he needed to be home.
Oh, yeah. So he flew around the world at that point. Yeah.
I want to ask you a question about the military.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
How important is it that we spend the money that we spend? Because that is our biggest obligation by far is defense spending. We spend more on our military than the next 25 countries combined.
I'm completely for it. There's too many weirdo, crazy people out in the world that are in charge of a country.
Would you kind of say that even if some of it appears to be frivolous spending on research for new weapons and training, would you kind of say our military gets that much money no matter what? It just needs to keep going?
Yes, because I think military and what's going to happen in the future is changing so rapidly. We got to keep up with it.
I would agree with you.
You've got to make... The government has to make the U.S. citizens feel safe overall. I want to be able to walk outside my door and go, you know what? No matter what happens, I'm safe from Mexico. I'm safe from Europe.
China.
I want to be able they seem so far away, but yet they're not.
No. And the world, well, we grew up during the Cold War.
Yeah.
Danger was always just a button push away for us. Right. I remember growing up feeling that way. And people were building bomb shelters. And I mean, I know what the feeling was. It was always Russia's going to attack us at any minute. You kind of get used to it.
You do. You go on with life going, well, if it happens, it happens. There's nothing you can do about it. But I sure hope that my government, my military is going to give it the best shot to.
What should be the main goal of the Secretary of Defense in your eyes? When that person takes that job and turns around and looks at all of our branches of military, what should that person's goal be for the military?
To toughen everybody up, to strengthen it, to show themselves. I think as a matter of fact, Pete Hegseth, that's he's touring. He's going to different countries. He's making his presence known. He's kind of going in there going, we're going to kick your ass if you do. I want our presence to be known that militarily, we're not going to back down.
I remember in the 80s, some of our embassies where the Marines were guarding it, they were not allowed to have bullets in their rifles.
What?
You couldn't have it. You could have them nearby, but you just like, no, we don't want to project that we're ready to kill you. We don't want to put off that image. You couldn't have a loaded weapon at some of the embassies at the gate, at the front gate. And it seems to me, and I want to see if you agree with this, that Pete has gone out there and says, I don't care about diversity. I don't care about inclusion. I want each soldier to be a fighting machine that is ready to kill for our country. That's his feeling. Everything he talks about is I want the best, strongest, most badass. We're not lowering the bar. We're raising the bar. You are going to run the 5 miles. And if your fat ass can't run the 5 miles, we're going to put you in the kitchen or we're going to get you out of the military. I'm sorry.
I just read somewhere that a very high percentage of high school graduates cannot even pass the physical fitness test of the military. That blows my mind. Like, they've taken away, I think, the Presidential Physical Fitness Award. Remember when we did that in school? I do
remember that, yeah.
I believe they were dwindling that out because they didn't think it was fair, that they didn't think that, some kids were up there.
Yeah, well, it's not fair if you can't do the stuff the other kids can do. Well, you didn't get kicked out of private school. I did. And in public school, when I got kicked out twice, public school was real big on, can you climb that rope? Can you do the sit-ups? Can you run? Public school had a standard. Even in California and Los Angeles, they had we had to climb ropes with knots in it all the way to the top. There was things you had to do.
They don't do that.
They don't do that anymore because it embarrasses people. And I'm going to go back to my favorite general of all time was Patton. And Patton said, you don't win a war by giving your life for your country. You win a war by making the other guy give his life for his country. Well, how do you make sure that guy's giving his life for his country? Then you better be the best, strongest, fastest, smartest soldier possible with the best gear. And I think that's important. And I think Pete is walking around telling everybody we will have the best soldiers, we will have the best equipment. And I want to know if you agree with that.
I do. I completely agree with that.
So with all these things moving in that direction, and there's ups and downs, there's ebbs and flows. It's kind of funny. One of the arguments I get in with our second oldest son is he's very quick to point out when things don't go well for Trump. If he loses in the Supreme Court, if he pulls back tariffs, he's like, oh, he's retreating. Look, he's retreating. He's fucking up the tariffs. Like, well, or he's adjusting. Someone came to him and said, hey, cool job on all the tariffs, but you're going to kill the automotive industry. You're going to have to make an exception for some of this, or this is a trickle effect that hurts everybody. And Trump goes back the next day and goes, oh, okay, I can move the tariffs around on automotive stuff. And then, of course, my son jumps on him. Oh, what a chicken shit. Well, look at him. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's retreating. Well, I say he's adapting and overcoming things. But there's been a lot of ebbs and flows, a lot of wins and a lot of losses. There are a lot of ups and a lot of downs, a lot of wherefores and what have yous, as the Deuterino would say.
Yes.
Got a lot of stuff going on in the old Deuterino's mind. Would you attribute, you've already said you think the whole picture is going in the right direction. Would you attribute that directly to Trump?
Trump and his team. I'm not going to give.
Well, he wouldn't have the team is there, but he picked the team.
But I mean, yes, and not everything's going to be 100%. He's not a perfect person.
No, he's going to make
Our government
mistakes.
Isn't a perfect person. I think it's a chess game. I wouldn't want to be in government and playing this chess game. It's always like 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah.
But I think overall we are better off with what's going on. Can I say what I don't like right now?
Sure, go ahead. Yeah,
there's one thing that
absolutely.
I'm going to side with people is groceries. Like, I've gone to the grocery store and I don't even have a full basket and it's like $250. I'm like, holy son of a bitch. Like, what? So yeah, I'm grumbling as I leave the grocery store. Am I buying better brands I was trying to think, am I buying better brands than I did like 20 years ago? Well, yeah. And I'm trying to think, I'm trying to eat better too. So that, which is so weird to me. Eating better costs you more money, but whatever.
Well, that's like we talked about, is when you go to Vaughn's, is there a health food section in that store?
No.
Yeah, there's a health food section.
I guess so, yeah.
Okay, so what does that make the rest of the store? The unhealthy section?
Well, the health food section to me is vegetables and fruit, but
Well, no, they'll have a whole aisle saying this is the health food aisle.
Yeah.
Well, what are the other aisles?
That's the only thing that I grumble with is the grocery prices, and that frustrates me more than anything. Other than that,
do you blame Trump for that?
No, I don't think so.
Do you think that Trump's actions eventually will even out over the next year? Let's say a year from now, do you think that gas will be a little lower, that food prices will be a little lower, or maybe wages will go up to help?
I'm optimistic about it. I'm hoping that it changes. Okay. I'm hoping that all the decisions he makes going forward makes that a little bit better for people.
Well, that's the one thing that's tough to argue with my son and other liberals about, is they get mad at the moment. Well, Trump signed this. Prices didn't come down. In fact, they went up. I'm like, yeah, see me in a year. Boy, they hate when I say that. I go, let's talk in a year after this all gets settled, after all the tariffs get signed, after everything flushes out, and there's 100 court cases, and let's say Trump wins 50 and loses 50. Let's see where we end up in a year. You can't call.
No.
You know when you figure out who won the Monday Night Football game? After the fourth quarter whistle blows. You don't say, you're not in the second quarter going, well, this is all fucked up. We had an interception. It's all downhill. But that's what my son does. That's what liberals do. They say, well, do you see what happened right there? Trump threw an interception. Yep, throw your papers in the air. We're all fucked now. It's like, hold on.
I contribute that to the right now generation. They're into immediate gratification, everything. So when something happens, they want a response right away. They're not into they don't know patience. They don't know, let's wait and see what happens. When they just don't. They want immediate gratification. They don't know what it's like to wait for something. They don't know what it's like to wait till Christmas to open
save
presents.
Up for something.
They don't know. No,
I'll
they
tell
want
you what, I have never met a generation like millennials who are the right now generation. And they want Amazon delivering their packages today
within an hour.
Yeah, they don't want to cook. They want a microwave. They want, like, if they have a hankering for something, they better be able to push a couple buttons and have that microwave pop that thing out, or an air fryer in 60 seconds. I better be eating that burrito.
But we were the same way when microwaves first came out. We thought that was like the greatest thing because we had to cook everything on the stove or the oven. Remember that? When microwaves, we were like,
but we did that. We would and there was times growing up when we would take something to go, I could put this in the microwave, but I want to do this right. And you'd grill up a hot dog or a hamburger. Right. You boil it in water or something. No, kids today, and millennials especially, Gen Z is different, but millennials, God, they just want everything right now.
That's part of the problem.
If they can't have it yesterday, they want it by 2:00 today.
That's part of their mindset. That's part of their mindset. So as soon as they see him sign an executive order, they think within an hour all that should change. But it doesn't work like that.
And some things get worse before they get better. When you and I were on Chris Cuomo's show in New York, I made that statement out loud on purpose where the entire country could hear. Trump should let everybody know things are going to get worse before they get better, because that takes away most of the liberal argument. Well, look what Trump did and look what's happening now. Things are going to get worse before they get better. We told you that. Well, now look what he did. He changed a tariff and he signed an executive order and things are getting more expensive. Hello, we told you this before we did it. We told you things will get worse before they get better. We could be in that right now.
I understand that completely, but my other thing is that they took out teaching government and how our government works out of the school system.
Yeah.
So these millennials are only getting the Cliff Note version of our government. Sure. He's writing an executive order, and in their mind, it's supposed to flip right now. If they were taught how our government work in the 3 branches of government and how it's supposed to work in checks and balances, I don't think these millennials would be thinking like that.
I would be happy if millennials just learned what the executive branch is in charge of.
Yeah, they don't.
They're like, well, how can he fire people? That's not his position. That's not his. He has no right to do that. And I go, well, who does?
Well,
the court system?
They have no idea.
Do senators decide? No, they don't. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, but I'd be happy if they learned what is covered under the executive branch just to learn that.
Government's been taken out of the school system, or it's been, what did we used to call it when we were in school with the books, when they like banned, things were banned, or when they cross out certain things. Redacted.
Yeah.
Our teaching government has been redacted, so I think that's part of their view.
I'm going to move on from government and politics.
Whew.
I want to know.
Thank you.
I want you to give me we grew up watching 70s and 80s baseball.
Oh my
70s and 80s football, 70s and 80s basketball, and we watched it along the way, but that was where that's what we remember the most, because that was our formative years. And for a lot of people it was. Tell me the state of baseball, which is pretty low-key, easy one, the state of baseball today versus, let's say, 1979. Is the game played the same?
No.
What do you think? Tell me.
It's changed since I played.
Okay, what? Tell me what then? Because you answered that awfully quickly.
Yeah, because it was so much more aggressive and more, how do I want to say it, more...
You're going to give me receipts on these or I'm not going to believe you. What do you mean?
More aggressive. Okay, so more aggressive back in the 70s, 80s was, one that comes to mind was barreling into the catcher. If the catcher's in the baseline, they're free game.
Okay,
If they're blocking the plate at home, they're free game. If you don't want to get hit, get the fuck out.
They kind of say that now. They're like, well, the catcher shouldn't really block the runner, but you definitely can't hit the catcher anymore.
No,
you
what's that?
You can't run into the catcher.
They got gear on.
Those are two. Yeah, you think you'd be more worried about the base runner getting a broken collarbone.
And then the flip side of that is, if the base runner wants to come home and the catcher's blocking the plate, the player's going at it, he can get hurt too, or she can get hurt. That's fine.
All right.
I've taken many a catcher out in my day.
Yes, you have.
I have.
Okay, so that's it. Just the home plate thing. You don't. All the rules still the same. Is the speed of the game? We gotten past all the cheating stuff in the 90s.
Have we?
I think so. Or unless
I don't know. They're always coming up with.
Well,
something
nobody's
new.
breaking any home run records anymore. I mean, are they?
Well, I'm not paying that.
There's nobody out there going, I've got 75 home runs this season. We're not doing that anymore. So.
Well, it's kind of like there's no. God, I can't think of the word right now. Everybody's trying to hit home runs now. There's no competition. There's no gameplay. There's no, hey, let's lay a bunt down and advance a runner. Everybody's trying to hit the wall. And I'm like, but that's not it. What do I tell you all the time? You just got to hit the ball where they ain't.
I was just waiting to say that. That's what you always used to say. Hit them where they ain't.
Where they ain't. Look at the field. Nobody's going up to the plate and looking where they're adjusting on the field.
No.
And if you don't know what adjusting is, you don't know baseball. But, they're always, as a batter comes up, whether you're left-handed, right-handed, they're adjusting their players to how they're going to play on the field. Watch it. If you're a really good player, you can pull a ball off a bat. You can swing late and make it go the other direction. That's part of the game.
Well, those are fundamentals. You don't think they do that anymore?
No,
you don't think there's fundamentals?
So. No, the other one that irritates me is catching the ball with one hand out in the outfield. Remember I said that? I go, you got two hands.
Or when a guy just lets a ground ball roll between his legs at shortstop.
Block it with your body.
You get so mad. You're like, kneel down and block that thing.
Block it with your body. There's no reason for all this stuff. So... basic fundamentals, no. They're teaching them to... The other thing is pitchers. It's always who can throw the fastest, but that's not it. Pitchers is being aggressive in gameplay and changing up the pitches and curves and stuff.
So do you like watching baseball more, or would you rather watch a game from 1979?
I'd rather watch a game from 1979, and I'd rather watch college than professional now.
All right, so let's go to football.
Oh, geez.
Now, this is the one where you start... I know you're going to reach for some whiskey right now or wine because you get so wound up. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I want to submit to you, when we watch football together, she physically has a yellow flag with a ball of sand that she will throw at my TV. And I will be honest about this, and I will be fair, a little humiliating, except I have pride in my wife. You catch more things live when we're watching a football game, NFL game, than I do. They'll throw a flag and I'll go, what was that flag for? And you'll tell me. It was the bottom left of the screen. The guy pushed the guy out of bounds. What are you talking about? I didn't see that. Wasn't even part of the play. but you catch more of those.
Yeah.
Or someone that's offsides and I go, I was watching the line. Nobody moved. And you'll tell me he was lined up offsides. You catch more stuff like that than, first of all, than any chick I've ever known in my life.
When I'm able to watch it. Yeah.
More than most guys. And you catch me off guard too. So in the NFL, let's say from 1979 to now, is it different?
Oh, by far.
And give me some reasons. Show me in the parlance of our times, I need to see the receipts.
Oh my gosh. Where do I start?
Start with the quarterback.
Oh God, we can't touch the quarterback now.
No, like you always say, I think, are we going to flag football with the quarterback?
Yeah, pretty soon. I don't know why they're improving the pads at all. I don't understand why we're improving pads or helmets because you can't touch anybody anymore. So yeah, that's where they're going is flag football eventually. Oh my goodness.
What else frustrates you about the NFL?
Where do I go? Let me see. Man, I'm trying to think. You
used to be upset about rule changes and catches.
Oh, God. Oh, that's right. The one, okay.
Well, I don't want to feed you these. I want you to know them.
Okay. The one is the goal line.
What do you mean?
Meaning that now the ball can just go across. You can run and put the ball across the goal line and it's a touchdown.
Right.
But it used to be, you had to...
You had to get across the line.
Across the line. Now it's just it drives me.
Well, I have a question then along that line. So if you're in the front of the end zone, you can stick the ball across the line and you're okay. Do you have to have 2 feet across that line?
No, but you have to do it on the side.
Across the front.
Yeah, but on the back side.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
So when you're at the front of the end zone, the ball has to go across, right? Do you have to have 2 feet in bounds? Do you have to get the 2 feet in the end zone also, or can just the ball do it?
Right now, it's the ball.
Okay, is that the rule for the back of the end zone or the sides?
No.
What is that rule?
2 feet in.
Why? If you just got to have the ball across, I caught the ball in the air, and while I was sailing across the air, I stuck my hand out.
I know.
Just like the front of the end zone, I stuck my hand out. Why I don't understand.
I don't know. I can't.
3 sides of the end zone have one set of rules, and the one side of the end zone has a completely different set of rules.
I know. The other thing is kickoffs. Ugh. If they're just let them go. Let them have. I'm tired of these free kicks, like them brushing them off, going, oh God, I can't even think of the call right now. I'm doing where the receiver catches the ball at kickoff. Fair catch.
Yeah.
Let's play ball. Let's do it because that can change a game instantly.
Well, you know what it's there for. He doesn't want to get creamed by the guy doing 90 with his head down. What
they do back in the time? Why do
you got your hands up in the air like this for? Like, it's football, baby. You don't play, don't play.
That's right. 70s and 80s, they barely wore pads and were beating the shit out of each other.
All right. So, what do you think about
millions of dollars?
What do you think about those calls? When there's too aggressive of a hit on a quarterback, on a running back, on a receiver. I mean, there has to be something in your head about lowering your helmet and putting someone in the hospital. You don't want that. But where do you draw the line? Or do you think the NFL has gone too far with it, or do you think they're right about where they should be?
I think they've gone too far from it. I think it also comes down to, I think, their training, their coaching. Also, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. I think they have so much padding, but they have to be some sort of safety. I mean, you can't take somebody out at the knees. I mean, that was called clipping back in the day.
Right.
But they don't call that anymore.
No.
I don't know what they call it now.
I don't know, but it's not clipping. I think it should be, but I get you.
But that was clipping back in the day, and that was a no-go. I don't even know if they call that. Maybe, I don't know what it is nowadays. But even a fair catch... Okay, here's the fair catch rule.
Okay, go.
You have to catch it and have complete control of the ball all the way to the ground.
Now, wait, you talking about catching a kickoff, a punt, or this is a catch?
Catch.
Okay, a catch. So that's not a fair catch.
Okay, sorry. You have to have control of the ball down to the
Yeah, you
ground.
got it. That's right. And if the quarterback throws the ball,
right,
receiver goes up in the air to catch it.
Right.
What's the rule? You must
have control.
And what happens if, as you hit the ground, you lose control?
That is called a fumble.
Yeah, because they say they say, well, that's called a fumble. They don't call it a fumble.
Nope.
They call it an incomplete pass because you didn't control the ball to the ground. The ground assisted you in popping out the ball. And the receiver goes, dude, I caught the ball. I caught it. I rotated it. I tucked it under my shirt. I held it with two hands. That ball was mine. Yes, but when you hit the ground, the ball came loose. So what? That's a fumble. They say it's an incomplete pass.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a tough one there, too.
Keep playing. Just keep playing. If the ball pops out, it's fair game, man.
I know in my mind when some of the coaching, you brought up a little bit how they're being coached and trained. In the 70s, coaches yelled at their players, football is a game of inches. That was the mantra. That was the strategy. You fought. If you're running the ball, you put your head down and you plow into those guys. You get 6 more inches. Every inch is important on a football field.
Yeah.
In the 80s, they quit doing that. Late 80s, they were like, just run out of bounds. I need you for the whole season. I don't need you to be out for the season with a broken collarbone because you were going for 6 more inches. I'll give the 6 inches back and give me my receiver back. Mm-hmm. I know when that started to change. I don't know that I can pinpoint when flag football became NFL football, but I do know when the coaching and the player style, the training was better, the padding was better, and they said, I want you to play on this team for 7, 8, 9, 10 years, not 2 years, not 3 years.
Yeah.
So I know about that.
The only that we always talk about, it's third down and they've got inches to go, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah. And it's like, you know what? If a team can't do inches,
right. Yeah.
they can't push inches, they've got a problem.
I hate 4th and 1 and they punt. It's like you don't have a play that guarantees you 1 yard.
Then we got a problem.
You don't have a play. Yeah, you can't guarantee 1 yard.
That's what I'm saying. The aggressiveness and the play-by-play have gone kind of out the window with all sports. Kind of the defense, the offense, the going back and forth has kind of lost it.
Let's go to basketball.
Oh, okay. That's kind of
your weaker
area. But go ahead.
Well, what do you think? How do you think about basketball now? And I was going to talk about this when you were talking about baseball, because this is something you and I have talked about. Baseball is like, the game has changed. A lot of people hitting for the fences.
Right.
Basketball has changed. Everybody's now doing what?
3-point shots.
How entertaining is that?
It's not.
When most of basketball is dribble down and get a clear 3-point shot.
I'd rather watch them pass it around to each other and then faking a team out and putting up a layup. I appreciate that more than shooting that 3-point shot. So
what would you say if there was some rule, let's just say, and I'm making this up as I go, to get people inside the paint?
Yeah.
What if there was 4 points in the paint or 3 points? What if it was 3 points? You can shoot a 3-pointer from outside, or you get a 3-pointer if you're inside the paint. Because now people would drive in to get in the paint to make that, like, hey, I get 3 points in there if I can work it inside.
No, I think there should be a rule where if you rebound and you take it down to the other end, you have to trade it with at least 1 or 2 people before you shoot again.
What? Why?
Because I think that's kind of
you don't like the fast break?
It's okay, but I think it's kind of like a cat and mouse game, like a keep away game.
Yeah.
That's what I like to see. The fast break's fun.
You know who listened to this show who's very mad at you right now? Magic Johnson. Now, Magic was great at the fast break and the no-look pass. He's known for that.
Yeah.
But the other 50% of what he did was taking that coast to coast and scoring. You just told him he can't.
Well, I'd rather him dribble down and pass it to Kareem and do a skyhook. I would rather that happen. So,
So do you think there has to be some sort of a rule change in the NBA to get people inside the key more? Do you think there'd be something to draw people back in? I don't know what the rule change is. I just suggested.
I think teams should just start doing it because I think it would freak everybody out because nobody's doing it.
That's coaching style. If they thought it would work, they believe me, they do.
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
do you think the NBA is responsible to make the game more interesting or not? Because you know what they're considering? A 4-point line.
No.
It's like I don't really want people shooting from even farther out. That's like dribble down half court, shoot. Dribble
like
down half
going
court,
to the
shoot.
Carnival and shoot.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, let's make the baskets 3 inches smaller. So
and let them lean just slightly. So on the bounce,
How about if the baskets move a little bit?
Exactly, just like the Carnival. I don't know, but you know what? I am piqued interest. I brought this up to Briggs yesterday or the day before about Michael Jordan coming in for commentating in October for basketball. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I did.
That's going to be quite interesting.
You don't know if he'll be good at it, though.
No, there's no guarantee. My bad one is Tony Romo. I don't know who told him he could commentate on football, but whatever. Okay. So even girls, I even told Berger, I go, it's not a guy thing, it's a girl thing. Dodgers started bringing in girls to commentate for baseball. The Dodgers, I went, what? Who did?
Some girls know how to commentate.
Yes, they do.
All right.
But not all of them.
No.
Let them try out and see if they can. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't commentate a baseball thing. I know that for a fact.
I could do it.
That's fine. But I'm interested to hear if Michael Jordan's going to hold back or if he's going to say some things. This will be very interesting because he played in a whole different era than these kids that are coming up now. So I don't know. Otherwise, I think either NBC's ratings are dropping for basketball, so they're bringing in Michael Jordan. So our generation will come back. I wonder what
they had to pay him to do that because he's got a lot going on. He likes to golf. I don't know. That's going to mess up his golf game.
I don't know. Okay. I just miss teams playing as a team.
I agree.
And it seems like it's more individual.
Okay. Before we go to your favorites now, and this is where we're going to end up with the world's motion. Goodness. I'm going to give you a name of a person, of a player.
Uh-oh.
And I just want you to, the first thing that comes to your mind, I want you to describe that person. Okay?
Okay.
LeBron James. You're taking too long. What's the first thing? What do you think of?
Good player. Crybaby. I don't think he's a team player. I think he's in it for himself.
And people would tell you how many assists he has. Prove you wrong.
Don't care. The bad outweighs the good with him. That's how I feel.
Okay. Who was your favorite player to watch 70s and 80s in baseball? Who do you remember watching play that you really enjoyed going to the games? Like you would have got that person's autograph if you could have.
Oh my gosh, Steve Yeager as a catcher.
All right. What about football? Go back to the 70s and 80s. If you could walk up and take a picture and get an autograph from someone in our era back then, who would you go?
John Elway.
Okay. Basketball back in the 70s and 80s before the Kobe and Shaq era. Who would you get?
Kareem.
Okay. And
are those solid? Are those okay?
Yeah.
Or Dan Marino. He's a great quarterback.
Oh yeah, Dan. All right. So and if you had to go back to anywhere from the 70s till now, don't go back further, the people that are before us. What president would you like to meet if you could have met someone from, let's say, 1970 to now?
Ronald Reagan.
Yeah. And if you could fly, not physically fly, but if there was a way to be a passenger, I know some jets have only single seats. What one airplane would you wish you could take a ride in?
SR-71.
I'm sorry, what?
SR-71.
You'd go in the SR-71?
Yes.
You know those go really fast.
I got to sit in it.
I know you did.
But I haven't flown in it. Or if I can't do that, which because they're not flying would be the Blue Angels, whatever they're flying now, I don't know. It used to be an F-14.
I think they're F-18s now.
F-18s?
Yeah, I do believe they are. Okay.
I'm a little behind on that.
So that covers the military, politics, covers the state of the country. How it used to be, how it is now, sports, how it used to be, how it is now.
People don't like GenXMom anymore.
No more, yeah, you're done. Your fan base has dropped. There's people unsubscribing as we speak.
Yeah, I can hear it now. I'm
going
to get nasty emails.
You are. I want to move into, I told you it's going to be a little bit of a long podcast. I want to move into GenXTalks.
Okay.
And again, I'm just going to lead you down a road of discussion. Just say whatever's on your mind. In the beginning, when Briggs first started doing this, We all know the story on how he got going, and I'll recap for those who don't know a little bit. When TikTok first came out, of course, Briggs was 14, turning 15, and he wanted to be TikTok famous like every kid.
Right.
And he tried on his own. He tried for 6 months doing all this stupid stuff. Never really got anywhere. And then he wanted to try to figure out a way to be TikTok famous. And of course, he came and asked me, because I do have a radio personality background from junior high school, and just out of high school in Los Angeles. That was kind of my thing. So I'm not opposed to being on camera or microphone, but I didn't want to be any part of social media. So I told him no. You had convinced him, listen, here's how you do this. Dad's funny, and Dad's got some points of view, and Dad's grumpy, but you got to catch it at the right moment and keep filming till you get one. And you did help him get this started. If you hadn't guided him with that, none of this would have ever happened. Did you ever think GenXTalks would have become GenXTalks?
No. Never no. I just thought it was a fluke thing, that it was just going to go on for like a summer or something. I didn't think anything.
And when it grew to where it is now, and it's going to get bigger, especially when TikTok gets sold and the shadow bans come off of everybody's channels. He's getting close, combined with all the channels, he's getting close to 3 million
oh my goodness.
Subscribers and followers. Did you ever think that would happen?
No.
Did you ever think we'd get recognized at grocery stores walking around?
No, you more than me.
But you never thought that was even a thing?
No.
Did you ever think it would be this much work?
Yes.
You did. You knew that.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I think I came to the realization when you weren't with us, when Briggs and I went to Oklahoma for that video, music video that he was in.
Right.
And I got to sit amongst some really great creators that I didn't know were that big. We just kind of sat. It was nice to be. I was the fly on the wall to say, because I was not the face of GenXTalks at that moment. The kid was.
And to give you guys some context, there was a band doing a music video, and they had decided, instead of hiring actors and actresses, they were going to enlist popular social media channels from all over.
Right.
Mama Tot, Ophelia Nichols was there.
Yeah.
And others. And they flew everybody to Oklahoma for a week and shot this video. This is what GenXMom's referring to. And at the time,
they were the hottest.
GenXTalks was kind of in the middle. There was several that were way more popular, but there was a few that had less followers. So you were kind of right in the middle listening. Go ahead.
Yes, and I was the fly on the wall because I wasn't GenXMom at that moment.
Right.
I was just the kid's mom. So there was plenty of time in between the filming that you get these 6 TikTok people that were just normal everyday people. There weren't fans around, nothing. Yeah. We were at a house on a lake. That's where we spent our days. So there was times where we would all be sitting outside and you could hear them discussing each other's TikTok channels, and so diverse. I mean, so different in all kinds of ways, and listening to what each one was going through. One girl, one was Blue Eyed Darkness back in the time. Yeah. She was so big and so hot. She was almost having a breakdown at this Oklahoma place because she was so overrun by her fans. And it was so, I mean, to see that, I was like, oh my God, I don't want Brigger to ever go through that. Yeah. And I'm watching this and I'm seeing this. Then, and they're all different ages. That was the other thing. Brigger, I think, was the youngest at the time. Yeah. And then you had, it went up in ages. But I just sat there going, man, I don't know if I want to go down this road and get this big or
were you saying they were discussing about the efforts they had to put in?
Yeah, it was that and what they had to put up with and how much time and effort they had to go in. Like Blue Eyed Darkness had to do makeup for every video that she did.
And she was putting stuff out daily. It was
just the behind the scenes stuff. Yeah, the videos come out and we think, oh my God, it's 2 minutes, but it took 2 hours to prep for this video. And I'm like, wow. So yeah, learning what goes on behind the scenes and how these people prepped for some of this stuff was crazy. They didn't have a team of people. They were doing it with themselves.
And so there we come along and we're like 2 years into this and, Briggs is like, well, can we get a P.O. box where we can send stuff? Can we get a website? And I'm like, well, and I had just kind of semi-retired, closed down the shop.
Right.
And I was looking for my next thing to go do. And I figured I was going to go out and, service ride or do some stuff for some people. And Briggs is like, well, can you build a website? I don't know. Can you handle this? I don't know. So now my list is about a 3 to 4 hour checklist every morning that he has me do. And Briggs, of course, has pulled away from GenXTalks. He's really wants to do his stuff working up in Nevada and his girlfriend and doing things. And he loves chiming in with us.
Now. You're talking now. I thought you were talking about...
No, but he's pulled away. So now I'm doing all these lists. You're doing all these lists where before, we're 2 years into it. We're just kind of getting our feet wet.
He went back to high school. He had to go back to school and finish school.
And this is all through COVID. So GenXTalks has done in-person events. We've gone to events like VidCon. We've gone to VidCon with all the other creators. We do our once-a-year thing in Las Vegas where people come from all over the country. We've done one in Reno. We've done some barbecues here at the house. We've done a lot of smaller shows all over the place that we've taken our little pop-up tent and gone and done. We even have staff. We have volunteer staff now that helps us in tremendous ways. Mm-hmm. But I could list all the stuff we've done, but that really doesn't matter. What matters is where we're going.
Yes.
Now, I don't see GenXTalks going away over the next 5 years, but I see it changing.
I agree.
Now, I know the kid's always going to want to do the shorts. He's always going to come do those. He wants to do, 2 to 3 shorts every week, and he'll drive to home to do them until till time is over. And
he's always coming up with something.
Yeah,
they're actually morphing into more adult. Have you noticed? More adult questions.
Yeah, the other day, what do I do with my girlfriend when she won't tell me where we're going for dinner?
It's really interesting to see how he's changed from when he started.
So I see that always being the staple, which I think is the core value in GenXTalks. I think without those, I think the viewership either slips or falls off or changes. But with those going strong, if he gets back in the groove and they stay up there, he's been having trouble filming them because of the moving. I get that. But the big thing you have always been kind of holding behind your back, waiting for the right time is what?
The radio station.
The radio station.
Thank you, Two Bear.
Why do you think you Two Bear?
Because Two Bear's the one during a live stream that said we should have a radio station called KGXT. And
he did not.
Yes, he did.
Two Bear did that?
Yes, and I saw it in the chat during a live stream and I went, oh my gosh, that is great. I wrote it down on a piece of paper and I think it was either the next day or whatever, I went searching for how to start a radio channel. I
just remember you coming in. You didn't say much to me about that.
I went for it.
Yeah, you came in and said, okay, I paid for it. It's ours. We own KGXT
Digital Radio.
And I went, what? And you said, yeah, there's even
we're going to sit on this for a little bit.
There's a signed certificate coming and we can hang it up. And I go, what are you talking about? And you're like, it's a radio station. And I go, what do we do with a radio station?
I don't know yet. I said, I don't know yet, but it was one of those things where I just felt really good. And when I saw it on the chat, I'm like, wow, who knows where that could go?
Right.
And it was one of those where I go, I can't wait. I just had to go. And I didn't know what it was going to cost. I was just digging in to say, God, could we do this? And
right.
Yeah, I just sat on it for a little bit.
But you kind of envision as GenXTalks changes some that the radio ramps up and we're doing interviews on the radio and we'll do call-in shows on the radio and not as much on the live stream, something people can listen to. Well,
the live streams I see the live stream switching over to that,
Well, eventually, but right off the bat for the first year or two, we're going to ramp up the live streams, garage shows, world shows. We're going to, once we're settled, you and I have already dedicated ourselves that for one full year, maybe even 18 months, we are going to push in-person stuff. We're going to take on, the sponsors and we'll show up at the events. We're really going to give it 12 to 18 months and see where we end up. And then we can scale things back by what we want to keep and what we don't. So that's one of the things people keep asking me. It's like, where is this going?
I'd like to bring KGXT up to the front. That is my wish and my goal. Because if for some reason that GenXTalks slowly goes a different direction, we're always going to have KGXT. I want it to keep going. I want
You could do that till you're 70. You could do interviews. Look at Larry King.
Well, but I'm just saying, I'd like to see the radio station build. I'd like to build that and bring it into its own.
And it's possible.
I really do. I think it's really fun and interesting to have the radio station playing and have Burger and his friends come walking in, or our daughter yesterday, and she starts dancing to our music.
Right.
And
I like it when people say, "What playlist are you listening to?" Well, I'm not. I'm listening to KGXT radio. You're what? I like that. But there's things that you're frustrated about with KGXT radio.
Oh, yeah.
One is the app. You want someone to help or me to build an app. I don't know how to build an app. You want and people quit asking. They ask for the first year, how do I get a KGXT radio app? And it's got just a simple app just to say, it can show you what's playing. It can show you the last 5 songs that played, the next 5 songs coming up. And it can show you can click on a calendar of a schedule, like what are the planned, slotted, you like this podcast, it would be like every Thursday at 10. You would see that there. So a simple app, just to do a couple things, not even complicated, but people want one really bad. So do you.
Yes. As soon as we get settled in Nevada and I get the things where I could function and move and we can live in the house, I'm going to sit down and really look into the KGXT thing. I was also frustrated going into there and realizing songs weren't titled right and that there weren't album covers, because album covers will come up as the song is playing on the website and they weren't right. That bothers me. That's just like a part of my OCD.
Detail. Right, yeah.
Because there's times where you always go, even on a radio, going, what's that song? What was that song? And then you go to look, or what year did that song come out? And I'm going in there and writing the year that the album came out.
I wouldn't have thought it was that big of a deal for the albums to be, because I want to say 70% of them had no album cover.
Yeah.
They just had nothing. In fact, they had the radio that hosts us, it had their logo. It didn't even have our logo on it.
Right.
It would have been so easy to put up our logo just when
it takes work, but it's doable.
It's
you know what else I miss is, gosh, so as I'm doing this and researching, how much effort and how much artistry went into album covers back in the day.
Unbelievable. How much thought, yeah.
And how much it's morphed. Like going in the 60s was so plain. It was just kind of like the name of the person, the picture, the song.
Yep.
And then the 70s got a little bit, but it's
70s got creative. Like, look at Styx album covers or Queen or Pink Floyd. It was
getting more color, more artistry, more graphics. But then late 80s into the 80s, oh man, there are some really, really beautiful covers. So while I was doing that, I was saving some of the covers going, man, I just need to post this on the KGXT Facebook page, radio Facebook page.
And I don't know who gave you the right.
Nobody, I did.
I was KGXT radio on the Facebook page was a small page with 12 people watching, and Josh Maddox was made a moderator, but I don't think he's ever done one thing over there. And all of a sudden, I look one day and there's 12 posts. Then the next day there's 12 more, and they're all music related.
Right.
Well, guess who that was?
That was me. Well, that's because, so I don't know if people know this, but Briggs has passed on the task of I run the Instagram and Facebook pages for GenXTalks.
Yeah.
Not the live streams, but the static posts and stuff like that. So I started doing that. Well, with doing a lot of research, which takes hours to do research for that, I come across a lot of music stuff.
Yeah.
Pictures of musicians with somebody, or, different things that
rare photos.
Rare photos. And I'm just like, that won't fly on the Instagram GenXTalks page. No. But then I'm like, I noticed that nothing was happening over there. So I thought, I'm just going to drop some.
We weren't really using it. I figured that page just needed to be secured so that when we did ramp up KGXT radio, we had a Facebook page to go along with it. That's the only reason we did it. And I was beginning to post a few little things in there, but not much. And then you came in, and that is growing. It is a growing page. So what I was going to say, if you let me finish, was that I didn't think in the beginning. I mean, I understand why you wanted to go in and make sure every song was listed correctly, had the correct artist, had the correct album. I got it. And that was a big, big thing because sometimes a song was playing by Chuck Berry and it said, that it was the Doors. I mean,
and it's not perfect yet. I have a long way to go.
The thing that tipped your hand was when I was not, first of all, there's a lot of people that blame Josh Maddox for not doing this. I don't know that I ever told him, go in there. I said, we need 1,000 songs posted, and he did it. I don't know that I ever said, can you make it go look right?
I don't think it's Josh's fault. I don't think we put a whole lot of effort into the KGXT radio.
No, but I don't think I ever said, hey, this is part of your job. So because people have asked me, what the fuck's he been doing for 2 years? Had I put a thing out there, Josh, every song, every label, every album cover needs to be right, then you could go to Josh and go, okay, we got to kick in the balls for this. However, there's two sides. People say, well, he should have just known. He should have just done it. Well, yeah, but it's really super time consuming.
It's very
and Josh he works so many hours that I don't know that he's got time.
He's a full-time
pharmacist guy.
Yeah,
so
he works full-time plus overtime.
And I never did say, and I've been telling people, hey, look, I never really told him, hey, that you got to do this. So you guys got to let Josh off the hook. Is it incorrect? Yeah. Is it incomplete? Yeah. But the thing that changed with my opinion about letting it slide, like who cares, was when you said, what if Christine Matlock goes and gets sponsors? What if people actually start looking at the page from what they can see from the outside? Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter whether you have 3 people listening or 3,000, but it just looks shitty.
If that's the future of GenXTalks, that definitely has to be cleaned up and more professionalized.
And the vibe has to be, yeah.
That Facebook page has to match the radio station page, because I think in the era that we're in, people are going to be drawn to the Facebook page first and wonder, what is this? And then I think they're going to go to the radio station from there. So the Facebook page has to be ramped up to, what is this? What's KGXT, first of all? So they'll start seeing, and then the interaction between people and bringing people together and discussing different things. But then every once in a while, people are going to go, what is this? And go to the website. And when they go to the website and they start to listen, those things have got to be professionalized and it's got to look cleaned up.
And guess what? I think the ebb and flow, we can't have 20 soft, mellow elevator songs right in a row. Those things need to be taken into consideration too.
Yes.
It has to sound great. If the song doesn't fit the vibe, get rid of it. Don't hang on to it. Because you're always going to find someone who goes, well, I like that song. Well, I know, but we're trying to go for a vibe overall. And guess what? If it does this is the important part. You're tying all these things together. You're tying the website together, the radio station together, and the Facebook page. As the interviews go through there, they can be posted to watch or listen to this later after they were live.
Right.
And you can put them links as they go through your page on the Facebook page. They can be posted with pictures to go link to Spotify on the website.
Right.
Here's the past interviews. That library can grow and grow and grow.
Oh, it has a potential of being quite big, quite large.
Do you want to know something? Speaking of GenXTalks as a whole, not just the radio station, that I want to, and I'm going to take you from angry to kind of smirking. Are you ready for this? Okay. No, this hit me in the middle of the night last night because I couldn't sleep all night.
Okay, what?
I found out one of the fake GenXTalks Facebook pages, the ones that mimic us, that we try to get taken down by, please turn these people in.
Yeah.
Please turn these people in. They're a fake page. They're stealing our content. Has 370,000 followers on one of the pages. And I was so angry going,
They stole our stuff.
It's 100%. They call themselves GenXTalks. They steal every bit of things we put up there. And I thought, God damn it. And I was so angry about that. Because, and here's the part, if let's say in a month we earn $600 from Facebook, would we have earned, are they getting the other $600? Yeah, probably are. But if we move into sponsorships where someone pays you to do something, we move into radio, we're like, hey, we're going to put this spot out and we're going to have some stuff for you on our shows. We're going to put your logo on our Facebook Reels. I can go to them. Christine Matlock can now go to them and say, listen, here's all of our channels. But guess what? There are 6 fake channels And they're so dumb, they're going to copy and paste our stuff. Your advertisement, your paid advertisement is going to reach another 371,000 people, but they're not getting $1 for it. They don't know.
True.
Because they're bots.
If they are using the phrase GenXTalks, I think I copyrighted that.
I think you did too. But I just want you to think how all of a sudden I was so angry and I turned it to a smirk and I went, well, now I want to talk to Christine and say, hey, make sure when you're talking to sponsors, you let them know how dumb these people are. You're getting double the advertising for your money.
Yeah.
Because they're going to copy and paste it and out it's going to go. I thought that was
that's true.
That was a way to look at it. Now, and I don't lie, and I wish they were gone because I do know they get money from Facebook on ads. I get it; they get their $600.
Yeah, all my work.
Yeah, all your work.
They just steal all my work. Thanks.
But the idea is that I think we can give up the $600 and turn that around and make it an asset. And I'm not sure I agree with that wholeheartedly, but there's a couple people out there. I'm picturing people's faces listening to this right now going, holy shit, they're nodding. They raised the glass to me at this moment. But
KGXT, they can't steal because that is our digital license. That's why I said that kind of individualizes everything.
No, and you can copy and paste to a Facebook page, but you're seeing how much work a radio station is. They can't, they're just, all they could do is link to it. That's the most anybody could do.
That's about it, yes.
So like I said, for those, because there's a lot of questions about the direction of GenXTalks, once the move is complete, there is going to be a heavy effort on our part to saturate content, with the shorts and the reels, the garage shows, the world shows, making things go. I mean, there's so much we want to do once we have our feet planted in the ground.
Yes.
So now we've talked about the world. We've talked about sports. We talked about GenXTalks.
It was more like GenXMom gave her opinion about it.
That's what I wanted, but that's the way we generate the conversation because I needed that middle of the road perspective.
A girl's point of view?
No, middle of the road person. I don't see gender and I don't see color.
Yes, you do.
You could be a 300-pound black man sitting there for all I know because I am blind.
What you talk about?
What you talk about, Willis? So I want to go through something a little personal.
Oh shoot!
And I want to.
Are you going to bring the vibe down?
No. Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
This is going to be, if it brings it down from pumped up, like, yeah, here's where we're fucking going. Our military, baseball, GenXTalks. It might bring it down a little bit too. Yeah, we're feeling it right here, baby.
Okay.
All right. I been around you your whole life, and the last 25 or whatever years we've been together. I've
longer than that.
I've known you've loved your brother. And you talk about your brother, and and you love your brother, and you've talked, and you would visit once in a while up there, and you might go to see him when he came down to see your guys' mother. You'd go down to see him, but there's always a strong stories about him that that you would tell from your childhood, and they were great. Mm-hmm. But it was never even entering the realm of my brother's my best friend. It wasn't at that level because you didn't have much time together when you were older. Okay. However, from the time that your mother got sick, that last year or so when she was passing away and your brother was down here with St. Donna, Sun Valley Fox, and St. Donna quite often, you were down there with your mother helping quite often. I saw a bond grow between you and your brother that I had never seen you express that level. And then you tell me, no. The thing that my brother and I are feeling now that we're getting back together now, you looked at me and said, this is the way it was when we were kids. All it took was for you two to be around each other, and it all came back and grew.
Yeah, my mom and I talked about it I'm going to get all upset.
That's okay.
You're going to get me all teary-eyed.
I'm sorry.
My mom and I talked about my brother and my sister, and she agreed with me. I go, no matter what, if I ever needed my brother, even though he was far away, all I had to do was make a phone call. It was like picking it up, and if I was in trouble or something, he would be the person I'd call.
Yeah, I agree with that. That
was always there.
Now I had met him twice. I had met him once at a function at your mother's when the whole family was there. It might even have been some sort of wedding reception for us years ago. I don't remember. And I also met him once. He came to this house when you were sick. He's only here for half an hour, and it was dusk, and he walked outside, and I go, well, this is where she lives. Other than that, I really didn't have much contact with your brother, the Sun Valley Fox, because I never took any of the trips, not one, up to his house. You would pile all 8 children in the Yukon XL, and you would head to see him. Then you would head to Oregon for grandparents, and you'd come home. And you did it all the time. I never went. I always worked.
Right. So
I was always watching this relationship from the outside looking in. And yet, somehow, since your mother's passing, and I miss her very much, since your mother's passing, during that time when you guys reconnected and kind of built that, here we are moving. Of all the places in the country we could go, we're moving, 10 blocks from on a map. It looks like 10 blocks from where he lives. And I know my feelings on the matter, but I'd like to know how you feel about leaving the San Fernando Valley, where we grew up out of Los Angeles, relatives and friends who have come and gone. How does that place feel now? And how do you feel about picking Nevada, being near your brother, to go?
Jeez. I'm sad for closing that chapter. I always felt growing up that the San Fernando Valley would always be home. Like, I always wanted to live like my parents. They bought one house and stayed there for 60 years. That's how it used to be, right?
Yeah.
So you always grow up thinking that that's what it's like, but there's nothing there anymore. It's just memories, and it's not the same. We've gone down there and things change. That area is completely changing. It's not the same as it was when we were teenagers and running around. So I'm okay with it. It's so funny when you start thinking about how your parents wanted it quiet as they got older, and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling how every generation as you get older, you just want some quiet. You just want some peace and quiet in your life, and just sit back and relax. And I find that in Nevada, where we're going.
Right.
When I go there, I'm much more relaxed. I'm much more calm. I go outside and I can breathe. There's always this thing about having room.
Sure.
There's room out there. It's quiet. It's nice. I love being close to my brother.
One comment you made about your brothers that I had not really paid attention to, because we're not around family anymore. And I don't mean our kids. We have, Briggs is here and Jade is close by. Not that. Our own age friends or aunts and uncles and parents and grandparents. And you made a comment, we got invited over for dinner.
Right.
When was the last time we were invited over to a relative's dinner? It's been 30 years, 20 years.
All my relatives are gone. I mean, I don't have grandparents.
And mine are far away.
Mine are all gone.
So we don't, you made a comment one time when St. Donna invited you, said, would you guys like to come over for dinner? I was like, you made a comment to me, hey, we're going to dinner. I'm like, we haven't done that. We haven't had that feeling.
It's been a long time.
In forever. It was very unique. And I think when I watch you and your brother, you guys are like a vaudeville act.
Oh, God, we feed off each other.
You do. When you guys are together, it's absolutely amazing to see the connection between you.
That's what you missed because my mom used to laugh all the time because she knew my brother and my personality. But between the two of us, we could almost make my sister cry.
Your mother told me that you guys would pick on her because she would start drinking.
She's not funny.
She's not even fun. Your sister would drink and start mouthing off, and then your brother would lean into her like, okay, I'm not putting, because your brother's the older brother. He's like, I'm not putting up with this shit.
Yeah.
And then you would come along.
I'll double down.
You'd come along like sitting on your brother's shoulder because he would protect you, and you guys would just tear into her jokingly. You weren't mean.
We used to tell her she was adopted. We got that far. We went as far as saying she was adopted. We always teased my mom and dad all the time going, just tell her, would you? Like we would straight face our mom and dad and go, could you just tell her?
Yeah.
Just
she's
tell
old
her.
Enough now.
You could tell her.
Everybody knows.
Mom and dad would look at us like, what are you talking about? Or Joe and I would go, just tell her she's adopted. It's okay. She'll take it. Maybe that'll clear up a few things that they'd be like, what are you guys doing? But we would straight face it all the time. And that would make her so mad.
You guys do that same stuff now. You pick on me. You pick on St. Donna. But you guys are very close. And here we are we didn't move to my parents' neighborhood. We didn't move near my brothers. We didn't move near my cousins. We moved to your brother.
Right.
And I have never seen you as happy about a decision in a long time, where you're making a big life-changing thing and you're completely confident. You wouldn't care if we had to rent an apartment. If you were near your brother, you wouldn't care. You just wanted to be, you're like, I got to be near my family.
Live in
my
the
brother.
Chicken coop.
You live in the chicken coop.
But I have to also say on the flip side with his wife, St. Donna, she's known me since I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
Like 50 years of my life.
Right.
She's known me. This isn't like, they've only been married 10 years or I knew her when I was in my 20s. She's watched me grow up. So it's not just I'm gaining a brother, I'm gaining a sister too on top of it. So it's like, it feels good. It feels really good.
Well, it's good for me to understand how you feel, how you've developed about your brother and how we've come along.
Yeah. And then it's just really great that you and him get along and you and Donna get along. It's like watching, oh God, I wish you guys would have met so many years ago, but my brother was working, you were working. It just wasn't the right time.
That was probably one of the biggest compliments your brother ever gave me.
What's that?
He said in one text message, and I screenshotted this and saved it, and I never shared it with anybody. He said, I wish we had met earlier in life. Not, not met, we knew each other, but I think he would
started talking.
Yeah, like wish we'd hung out then.
But you guys were busy working, supporting a family.
I know.
He was too, and you were too. It was just not the right time. But now's the right time. So.
Oh yeah,
Now we go forward and just develop those relationships.
There's no doubt. Right now, the way the pieces fell into, he was working, I was working, and then your mother got sick, and we were, he was there, and we talked and stuff, and kind of got our feet wet in that relationship during that time, to where we are right now. I love your brother. I love him with all my heart. I would never, cause I'm fat and slow and everything, but I'm losing weight.
Yes.
And my stamina is coming back. And at some point I want to be able to tell him, listen, I know you have sons. I know you have a daughter. And I know if you died in a car accident, your sons and your daughter would come take care of St. Donna. I know that. I know there's family. You don't have to worry about that. But I want him to know that as long as I'm alive, nothing will ever happen to Donna. St. Donna, I will call, I will watch over, I will protect. That will be, if something happened to him, I would not let one thing go wrong with her, their property, nothing. I want him to know, because I know that kids would do that stuff too, yes, and there's probably a bigger bond and more loyalty. I got it. But at some point, I'm going to say that out loud. When I get to that point where I can step in and go, this is, I'm letting you know right now, you don't ever have to, if something happens to you, she's going to be okay, because I will stand guard at the front door. Nothing's ever going to happen.
Yes.
That's how I feel.
I love that. The other thing I was paying attention to and I'm loving is that my brother's treating me as an adult. Like, it's funny the stories that are coming out, stuff that my brother did when I was so little. Because there's 14 years between us. So, when he was wild and crazy in his 20s, those weren't the stories you're supposed to be telling your little sister. So I never heard him. But to hear him now and he's hearing stories of me as a teenager in my 20s and all the crazy stuff. We are very similar.
Very similar. Oh my God.
It's crazy. We have lived. Both my brother and I could both go, you know what? We did some really crazy things. We lived.
I'm going to submit something to the jury right now that you guys don't know. There are times when the Sun Valley Fox will tell us a story about some of his wild youth, and I want to follow up with a story about what you did that's very similar, because I'm like, guess what? Your sister. And I look across the table and she's doing, no. She just goes quietly. I'm like, I'm looking going, I can't tell. He just told his story. You tell yours. And you're like, not ready to do that just yet.
No, I want him to think I'm still the baby sister. But for him to open up and start telling me those stories and go, oh my gosh, he had so much fun.
He did. Yeah.
And so did I.
Yeah.
I mean, I did have a great time.
I love that you two are ending up in the same spot.
Me too.
You started out in the same spot, the same town, and you're kind of ending up in the same spot.
But think of how just the future talks we're going to be bouncing off stupid things to each other because he grew up in the San Fernando Valley and we both probably touched a lot of things at different times.
Yeah, it's like, everybody cruised Van Nuys Boulevard at some point. Everybody's been on the Santa Monica Pier at some point. I mean, there's so many similarities. Yeah. Even the stories when I talk with your brothers, like, well, I've been there, but I was a decade late.
Right.
But it's still this. Everybody's got their stories. It's an amazing transformation. Like you said, you always thought you'd be in one house forever. I thought this was our forever house.
Me too.
I never thought we were moving.
Me too.
And here we are, 1 foot out the door.
And I can't wait to be there full time. And I have no regrets of this house or property. We lived here. There's memories. Now I look at it and it's just a house. But all those memories are going with me.
Yeah.
They're going somewhere. We have photos. We have stuff.
We have stories and memories and pictures. And I couldn't have picked a better place in my mind to raise 8 kids than a big house with a pool and a big backyard at the end of a cul-de-sac with a big driveway. I mean, we're leaving. One thing we're leaving we can't take with us.
What?
The handprints in the driveway of the entire family. We poured the concrete.
Right.
We put the handprints and we signed it. And I hope the new owners just leave it as a memory of like, this was what was here before us. I hope they don't tear that out.
I hope not either.
But we'll see.
There was one other thing I was thinking of was, oh my gosh, it just left my head.
Well,
oh my gosh, I can't remember. Oh, I know what it is.
Go ahead.
You know what? When I said, you always dreamed of being in one house your whole life. But you know what? As I look back, after a while, things just get kind of familiar, at the house. And you could probably shut all the lights out and walk. But I think with this new chapter of our lives, of you and I and Briggs moving to Nevada, it's opening up new adventures and new chapters.
I agree.
We're not closing the door going, well, being mom and dad is done. We raised our kids. We're just going to sit here. But now we have a new place to explore.
But we're not trying to go. I want to build you a house with a front porch. What I always tell you, tell everybody what I always say I'm going to do.
You're going to watch the sunrise and the sunset on my front porch with me, or my porch all the way around.
And?
Hold hands, kiss me.
No.
And rocking chairs.
Rocking chairs. I always tell you, you're going to build a front porch, put in 2 rocking chairs. But that's not all I'm doing. I'm not just going to wake up at 7 a.m. and go sit in the chair all day. You're right. There's a lot of stuff to go explore and go do that should be fun in the process. And this is where it goes back to your brother. I wish it was 10 years ago because we're both getting older. We're both not going to we both can't do this for 20 more years. So whatever time we've got. I wish there was a little more time.
But 10 years ago, you guys were both working.
I know.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
If you go back 10 years, it still wouldn't have worked.
So now we've covered the United States in the direction and politics in the direction. We've covered 3 parts of sports in the direction. We've covered GenXTalks in the direction. We've gone old with all these things. We've gone new with all these things. And we rounded out with us personally where we're going and why. And I told you this was going to be a very different podcast. I told you it's going to be a very different episode.
Yeah.
And there's no notes. There's no car stories. There's no shower drawings in any of this. I don't want to say, well, it's the end of the year wrap up for GenXTalks, and let's talk about what we did last year, and let's talk about where we're going next year. No, I'm not waiting for an end of the year type of thing. I just wanted to get caught up on GenXTalks and KGXT Radio as a whole, kind of stumble through some things on how we got here, why things are much slower right now. We're not putting out as much content and why.
But we're still out there.
And where we're going next and how big we'd like it to be. And I'm not saying I'd like to be on the front page of newspapers. I'm just talking about, I want to do, here's an example. Christine Matlock and I, and she of course is married to Ben Matlock.
Never lost a case.
We talked about building the radio station with interviews. Now, there's several I've got in my back pocket that I want to go do, that I'm ready to go do, and they're going to be good. But what if you wanted to get into politicians? How would I get the governor of Nevada? I wouldn't. But what if I got the guy who lost to that governor?
Right.
or lost their Senate seat, their run for Senate. What if I got these people say, well, what happened? And what were you going for? And what was your message? And you build a resume of people because you could get those people on, and then you build up to the current people and you move forward. So what I'm saying is I'm trying to work to do stuff. I'm not trying to find a way, hey, sponsor me so we can get a spot on NBC. No, not at all. Not at all. What I'm talking about is building the radio station and the interviews in KGXT in a way that I'm not trying to fly to Hawaii and stand at the edge of a volcano and go, GenXTalks reporting in from the active volcano. I'm not trying to be that guy.
Right.
I'm trying to take GenXTalks to be more popular amongst the grassroots area. That's what I mean. In-person event, yeah, I won't be at the Statue of Liberty. You know, I'll be at a small place in Las Vegas or a small place in Reno, or we'll go to Sacramento and be in a park. But that's the grassroots part of it. And I want to do a lot of it. I want to do more of it. We're meeting just regular people doing regular things to such a degree that these guys are more in touch with average folks like they are than anybody else. I'd like to be known for that, for being in contact with those. That wouldn't hurt my feelings one bit, just so you know. And as it stands right now, I get recognized more in northern Nevada than anywhere I've been.
Yes, you do.
I mean, absolutely uncanny how many
at
people.
A gas station of all places.
Yeah, the florist up there knew. He's like, he texted me. Right. He goes, "Hey man, I didn't realize I was talking to you, but I had to text you back, man. This has been following you for years." You had no idea. So.
Yep.
Thank you for playing along. You see, you got to keep all your clothes on. Wasn't that a relief?
Held my breath the whole time.
That's right.
You know how much I don't like to be interviewed. I'm not that person. But I am not. And now I'm going to have to tone it down after this.
But it wasn't a direct interview. I wanted a conversation about an opinion, just a middle of the road opinion on all these things, just to kind of bring it all together.
Yes.
And I know there's some people that don't like sports, so they can tune out. Some people don't like politics, tune out. But everybody is interested, who listens to the program, of course, is interested in GenXTalks and where it's going. Everybody's kind of interested in the dynamic on why we chose Northern Nevada.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just your brother too. Dr. McDreamy lives up there. MossyZavala.com lives up there. Mike Perkins lives up there. And a host of others. Christine and Ben Matlock, never lost a case, live up there.
Yes.
There's quite a bit. But
it's funny, I have to clarify. I didn't realize it when we first started saying we were moving, clarification, but it happened yesterday because I was closing out our P.O. box down here yesterday and was talking to them and go, "Oh, we're just moving," because they were going, "What's going on? Why are you leaving us? We've been there forever." I said, "Well, we're moving. Where are you moving to?" "Nevada." Their first inclination is Vegas. I'm like, "Well, not Vegas."
Not Vegas, yeah.
I have to clarify northwestern Nevada. And then they're like, "Oh, I don't realize it. When you say Nevada, everybody assumes.
Well, and that was on our list of places, one of the places we did look.
Yeah, but
this is not for me.
No, I'm not for us.
That's not for us.
It's a nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there.
No, I've spent 2 years in Vegas living there, so I know the town.
But it's still not the same.
No, it's not the same, and it's just no, that's not the pace I'm looking for. I want to be, up. I want to be where it is a slower pace.
Place to breathe.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, how long? Now look at me. Don't cheat. How long do you think we've been on this? It's been a while. It's been a bit.
An hour, definitely over an hour.
Yeah.
Hour 40.
142. Wow, that's pretty close. So in conclusion with the thing too, because I know someone's going to ask me about this, bringing the new staff members up to speed, because we're doing a big staff member shift right about now. It's not intentional. It's just coincidence. Mm-hmm. But bringing Christine on and bringing Danny H on, moving some people around the board for their responsibilities and where we're going, and the new things we're trying to keep involvement way up, and we're gonna go crazy with new things too. Like someone I don't know if it was you or Christine Matlock had the idea about people having listened. Remember when we were growing up, there's a keyword. Listen for the keyword on 95.5 KLOS between 11 and 12 today. Wait for the keyword, and then you know what the keyword is.
Right.
So what if we had that on the live stream where it said, well, did you guys listen to the radio station today? Because we're giving away a $500 gift card. Do you have the phrase that pays? But that takes an entire audience of thousands of people to the radio station for that hour.
Right.
It's a big increase. And there's ways to do that cleverly and fun and have a good time with it. And having our staff members move some pieces around the board so they can help plug holes and fill and learn these things. Same with Discord. GenXTalks has a Discord channel, which is just chat rooms for old people. And we've shedded away the people that we got rid of. We were up to so many thousands, and then Trippy Pineapple went in and said, look, I'm going to get rid of the people that aren't active.
Right.
And he did. And I'd rather have a true number. I don't want to say, our Discord server's got, 19,000 people, but 18,000 of them are inactive. No, I'd rather have it trimmed down and have a lower number. And we got a real solid number now. Yeah. And we're going to build that up. So Disney Kid and Danny H and Mr. Invisihuchi, they're gonna have their hands full moderating, because there's going to be some good people that show up there, and it gets busy.
So now that we've talked about the radio station for the last hour and 40 minutes, right at this moment there is no app, but you can listen live at kgxtradio.com.
Yes.
So it's kgxtradio.com. Go over to the website. There's a little button to push. You can go, put stuff on there. Please be patient, because some of the albums aren't matching up to the songs, but I'm working on it.
And just so you know, on that website, you go to kgxtradio.com and you can click the little play button and you start listening. There's also a tab on there if you want to put a KGXT radio on your phone. You want to put a little icon on your phone so you can just click on it.
Yeah.
There is instructions on how to do that on an Apple phone and Android.
Yes.
So there's instructions of video. There's visual instructions for both. If you go to kgxtradio.com and you want to say, well, I just want to have a quick icon, I can click it and go. It's not an app. It looks like an app, but it just links you to the radio station.
Also, if you want to pass this on to other people, please pass that on. Also, in our store, we're putting in KGXT merchandise, so we can spread it around with stickers and
there's shot glasses in there.
There's shot glasses. We really would like this radio station to take off.
You know what's going to happen, and we did this with people who have been longtime followers of GenXTalks. When we did shot glasses, and I'm not talking about just the numbered one, or we did. Remember the highball glasses you did?
Yes.
After we got things going, we changed them. And there became Series 2.
Right.
And later, a year later, there was Series 3. And then people go, well, can I go back and buy the originals? We're going to do some of that stuff, too. We're taking stuff off the store. And if you don't have the original shot glass, then version 2 comes out. All you can buy is version 2.
Yeah.
And then version 3. And some people, and there's quite a few, they proudly hold up these little tiny things of merchandise from GenXTalks going, I have all of them. I got the complete set. I spent $10 back in the day. And when the next one came out, I grabbed another one of those. And KGXT Radio is going to be the same. I'm going to say, does anybody can you send me a picture of the original bumper sticker, of the original shot glass? Do you have one of the original T-shirts? Because you can't buy them anymore. We changed it.
That's right.
And, you give them some incentive to I got to wear it. Send me a picture and I'll send you something.
Right.
I'll send you a little something. Maybe you're going to get shirt number 2 if you bought shirt number 1. I mean, there's so many things you can do in this area. And I can't wait to get Christine Matlock involved in how we long-term do all these things. I can't wait to get there. I can't wait to get to Nevada. I can't wait for things to go along that line. And I can't wait to see, when you and I really roll up our sleeves and we say, okay, let's do, and we're starting now. I know we're doing some of it now. We're working, but I can't wait to see where this all goes when you and I roll up our sleeves, and then we got great people behind us on staff pushing this down the road. And yes, for Josh Maddox and some others, that slap contest stuff is still being worked on. We're now getting back into figuring out how to, and there's a few obstacles in the way, but how GenXTalk can go and interview every one of those slap contestants, athletes, whatever you want to call them, and make some of those things exclusive. We still have the ability to go do that. And we're going down that road. So by next spring, this could all be in play. If everything works out, it could all be in motion, but it's going.
So we got to drop a little bomb before we get off right now.
Why are you whispering all of this?
Because it's kind of a secret.
You're on the radio.
Don't you have special guests tonight on Bottom of the Glass Nation? You have to, we can.
Yeah.
So hope everybody sees, you know.
I'm going to say two names. One name you know, one name you kind of know, and one brand new name.
Yeah.
So Iceman from Bodfish will be here tonight on tonight's show.
Live on the Bottom of the Glass Nation.
And cameras and microphones.
Cameras and microphones.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie's coming.
Is coming.
Yes.
And Justin Shy, which you don't even know that name. Briggs, you out of here? Yeah, no. What happened to your? Still going? I know. What happened to your hair?
It's very fluffy.
Fluffy. You look like you stuck your finger in a light socket.
No, it's because so Austin introduced me to. I'll make it quick. Austin introduced me to a basketball anime.
Yeah.
Right. And it's an anime, so like obviously they're gonna be doing the craziest things ever, like in high school.
Yeah.
There was one play where the guy, he goes up, gets fouled. Anybody studio cams on now?
Yeah.
Goes up, gets fouled, throws it behind his back like this, flicks it up, and makes it. And he was like, "You can't do that." So I was outside and I did that a while ago. So
what does that have to do with your hair? What the fuck you telling me basketball?
I was running and jumping.
Oh, it caused the hair.
Second. You are not going to lunch like that.
Here's one thing that bothers me, and I know this is going to be stupid. You know how I hold things inside forever, and they pop out at weird times. There was a girl.
I don't know if I'd say.
Okay, it wasn't a sexual reference, okay?
Wow.
No.
Wow.
Weird things in my head that go. So a long time ago, I was dating this girl, and she left me for a guy, and I hated this guy. And you know why she left me? Because he had the Back to the Future black 4-wheel drive, and I didn't. She left me because that guy had that.
You for a car, you shouldn't have been with her.
Yeah, exactly.
She left me for a truck.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the guy had your exact hair.
Oh.
That's what bothered me when you came in. You came in, and I went, "There's David's hair." First thing I said. His name was David. Yeah, remember.
All right, go have lunch with your girl.
Okay.
So,
she's buying. Woo!
get out. Okay.
What? How'd that happen? Okay. Never mind.
Never mind. Get out.
Go away.
No way.
Get away.
So Iceman from Bodfish, shut the fuck up, Donnie. Justin Shy, and
Who's that?
I'm not telling you. It's a new guy.
Okay.
New guy. And there is a chance
What?
a previous GenXTalks janitor may show up.
Nice.
We'll see how that goes. So we could have a full house tonight. It could be one of the last nights. I don't know. Assuming we're going to be here. We're going to be here Saturday for sure, probably on Tuesday. But this is an unusual opportunity because Iceman is actually in Bodfish right now, and he's working his way down this way, and he's coming back. So yeah, a little bit of something for tonight for everybody who's listening live. Otherwise, we're going to put up some pictures, let everybody know to show up. But again, weird podcast, weird show, weird Thursday at GenXTalks. Everybody's kind of in a weird funk, but we're all moving pieces around the board. So that's it. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. Not sure where you're paying attention. You want to say something. You're holding back. You drew in a breath like you're going to say something and you didn't know if you should interrupt. What is it? I don't know. What is it? You went.
No. I'm waiting for you to end the podcast.
You were going to say something.
I'm waiting for you to end the podcast.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Not sure where you're listening in from around the planet, AM, FM, Sirius XM, or perhaps you tuned in on the Armed Service Radio Network. Remember two things in life. Number one, wherever you go, there you are. And number two, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. I'm out.